Yeah, next up, Wisconsin. Team that was the only team in the league to have two all-league preseason picks, first-team picks. Their Chucky is an elite point guard. Wall's a handful. Wall's a tough matchup. Very, very good player. This team is, for lack of anything better, typical Wisconsin team. They do what they do, and they do it very well. They've got a tremendous freshman in the Asijan kid. He's what we call a net stripper. He's a runaway shooter. He's a guy that can run 100 miles an hour and turn and pivot on an inside foot and make a shot. And this is a team that they're going to do what they do defensively, and with Kroll and we've got a transfer from Wofford that is. Gives them some physicality along with Chucky at the point. Their guards are big and physical. They're going to post everybody. They just do what they do. So, I felt, in a crazy kind of way, felt pretty good after the Northwestern game. We're not that far away. We weren't playing hard. Now we're playing really, really hard. We've got that back established. You can't go down, it's like walking out of the locker room minus 26, with the fouls. We made as few mistakes defensively as we've made in any game this year. Unfortunately, they made us pay. We went under a couple ball screens and they made them. I think we've got, if you would have told me Adige and Bowie were going to go 7 for 27, I said we're winning. If you would have told me that we're going to hold them to 32%, we're winning. So I think I think Terrence, even though Buck got a couple of fouls, I think our guards are very, very good defensively. I thought Dane Deja was as good defensively as anybody we've had in terms of guarding their ball screens and guarding their angles and protecting the rim. So I felt like we played well enough to win the game. We just fouled. And then we had a bad stretch offensively where it was turnovers. So we've got to execute better on the offensive end. We've got to do a better job of protecting the ball. That was frustrating. I'm frustrated we didn't get Dane more touches. 4 of 6. We've got to do a better job of getting him the ball. But like I said, in a crazy kind of way, I kind of, even though we lost the game, I was kind of pleased with the growth because we really fought. We competed. I thought R.J. Melendez was elite on the defensive side. We got really good looks. Ball didn't go in. We'll step up and make those shots. When we start making those shots, then we become a team. I think it was 6 minutes to go. We were shooting 60% in the 2-point range against the team that's the best in the country at taking it away. We were getting the shots we wanted. We just got to avoid the turnovers. And we can work to continue to do that. We'll be fine.
Had a recent string of success against Wisconsin. What could translate from rosters past into this one to have success against the Badgers?
Obviously we were co-champions last year. They're very good. I think that the one, would Kofi have 37 and whatever last year in the matchup? He was physically dominant last year in that game. Obviously, he's not here. but they also lost a pro. And they lost a fifth-year guy in Brad Davison. So, you got to do what you do. They do what they do. I thought we were very dialed in last year defensively. We made their touches. We competed on their touches and fought them. So, we got to do that same thing. So there's nothing really, strategic about it. It's we've got to guard them and limit all their post ups and. You can't give Chucky's shooting 51% from the three. You can't give him those looks.
You talked about wanting more guys to get downhill. Jaden seemed to give you that in the Northwestern game. Do you want the ball in his hands more? Do you want to play to that with what he can give you there?
Absolutely. Jaden's a really good player. A really good player. And, he's gotten into the paint pretty much at will. Against everybody that we've played, and he's going to continue to do that. We need him aggressive. We need aggressive Jaden Epps. We need Jaden. Jaden needs to be a 10 to 16 point a game guy for us every single night, knowing that he's capable of getting 20, and he's starting to make really good decisions, better reads. To go along with that, that's part of his growth. I like Jaden. Jaden's got swagger. Nothing rattles him too much, and he's not afraid. So we need that from him.
Coach, you've had some of those turning-point wins in the past here. Does this feel like that could be one of those games? This kind of get the ball rolling the right way.
Well, there's no doubt. I don't want to put it that much. It's a game, but we need to win. We need to get back to playing with our swagger, with our confidence. This is again a team that beat UCLA, a team that has beaten Texas. We've beaten good teams. We've played good teams, and you've got to collectively as a group fight together. You've got to have a cohesive unit, connected unit, and we showed that the other night. I liked our fight. We weren't fighting. We had a stretch. We weren't fighting. We weren't competing. We still have another level to go to with, loose balls and those things that we've just. But our fight is there, and then we were really sound. So, is it going to be a big game? They're all big, but we got to get it. We got to find that little bit of swag.
Brad, you ask guys to make adjustments on the floor when things aren't going well. Obviously, for you as a coach on the sideline in game, do you ask that of yourself as well? Do you feel like you have to make adjustments as a coach in your coaching style, especially when things just don't seem to be clicking like they kind of were in the second half?
Yeah, it's like I said, we weren't playing as hard as we could play, and when I feel like I have to lead and kind of fight them, I do that. I love the way we did that, and we've bounced back from that, and we're competing really hard and playing really hard. Now it's getting back to I got to be the technical guy, and a little more stoic and a little more less animated. But I'm going to fight, and our guys know that. I've been that way. It didn't matter, this year, last year, the year before. That's been who I am, and that's didn't maybe have to do it as much with Trent, DeMonte, Jake, some guys that were here and would lead. But now it's getting back to we've got that established again after the Penn State game. So I've carried that over in practice, and we'll get back to being a little more stoic on the sideline during games.
Coach, given their style of play, what are some keys to the game for your team that are unique
Not fouling
to this opponent, and Do you want to try to speed them up a little bit? Or?
No, doesn't work. Everybody in America has tried to do that for 40 years. Doesn't work. That's a system that it's a waste of your time to sure, we want to take opportunities when they're there, but you try to speed them up. They play fast. They're going to take early shots. I mean, Wall will get a rebound and go coast to coast. You know, to me, it's about execution, and it's about guarding them. And then you can't foul because they don't. You know, they're, I think, one of the teams in the country that's got the fewest fouls committed. So, you know, you can't gift them free throws. But trying to speed them up has been something that hasn't worked for anybody who's tried.
I think, Brad, after the Northwestern game, you may have likened to that 0-6 start at Oklahoma State. Like, what if any, are the similarities and differences between these two teams kind of at this point?
I don't know if there's, other than the record, there's not. You know, I think that we were at Oklahoma State. We didn't have any problem scoring. I mean, we were scoring 90 a night. I mean, we could really score. You know, what we weren't doing was defending. This was just the opposite in terms of, you know, and I say that. I mean, you guys realize how many points we scored at Northwestern last year, right? Anybody know how many we scored? It was under 60. So, you know, we got to preface everything that, you know, it's the Big Ten. It's very hard to score. The defenses are great, but so they're different that way. But you know, we went to Texas Tech on the road and found a win, and our best player didn't play. Juwan was in foul trouble and didn't play, and we found a way. And it was some changes we made on the defensive side that helped. And you know, this year we're searching for that identity, and I think we're getting much more comfortable. And again, I felt great about the game the other night. We just can't foul.
I guess Centeno's had a good season overall defensively. When you get into Big Ten play, what's the key kind of balancing, kind of letting him be him, but also cutting down on fouls a little bit?
Yeah, it's being a freshman. So, you know, freshmen have a tendency to want to use their hands. And, you know, it's no different than what Trent and Io went through. You know, you got to learn to chest. That's where the weight room comes in, and strength and getting bodied, knowing that guards are going to get into you. You know, the other night was a kind of a unique deal for him, but he's an elite defender. He's proven that. And, you know, tomorrow's a different day, and you know, it's something we just keep working on.
I know you've talked about needing practice to translate to games with the offense, but in terms of with your pivot from 5 out to spread and ball screen stuff, which you did against Northwestern, how much do you feel like you have in terms of full installation for what you want to do next?
Yeah, I think it's you got to be really careful with not too much, and you know, master what we're doing. You know, I loved our ball screen stuff. We didn't have to run a ton of spread, but yet, you know, that's something that we have in. You know, I think where we're finding difficulty is going from a transition moment into offense. Going from playing with pace and flowing into something. And it's again, we can practice that all we want, but we get you know, ball's not in the right guy's hands or whatever, and it's just it's a process that we've got to get cleared up, and we've got to get the ball in our point guard's hands. We've got to run actions. When we run them, we were we were like a 1.2 OER in actions that we actually executed and ran the other night. I mean, it's really good stuff. So I'm careful with what we're putting in. You know, trying to get guys in the right positions. You know, you saw a lot of different guys in ball screens the other night with Terrence, with Matt, with Jaden. Actually put Coleman in them. So it's growing, but we're not at the expense of trying to do too much.
Just to follow up with that too, shooting seems to come and go with these guys. What is it that you think you need to hang your hat on offensively, an identity?
No, it's execution. Offense is, like I said, it's a rhythm. You know, we knew exactly where we were going to get shots against Northwestern, and look at the ones we got in the first half from the corners. We made the right reads, we pitched them, and we got butt naked. I mean, we couldn't get any more open shots than what we got there. You got to make them, and those come from rhythm. And every game it's different because the defense tags different, or the defense does something different, or their support's different. So saying we're getting this tomorrow is, in relevance to what we got in the last game, is not the case. It always differs. That's why scouting is paramount in terms of being able to make those adjustments. Like I said, you give me those shots and every night, and we'll make them. We've just got to, again, play in the rhythm, know where they're coming, and when they come out of execution, we make them.
Brad, you had talked about needing to win and playing with that swagger and confidence. How do you convey that message without making this too big of a game, if that makes sense?
I'm not. There's 20 of these. You know, do we want to feel better, and would a win help that? Sure, there's no doubt. But it's the grind of a season. It's keeping it simplistic in the everyday battle to get better. And we weren't playing hard. We weren't playing hard enough to win, and that's why I was fighting. That's why I was leading. We're starting to get great leadership. We're starting to get that in terms of the demanding of effort every single day in practice. You know, that's our culture. That's always what we've hung our hat on. That's why, you know, I'm a fighter. And so I feel great about that. But, you know, now it's 20 games, and now we've got to be consistent while we do that every single night.
Who has stepped into those leadership roles over the course of the last 3 weeks to a month?
Yeah, I mean, Terrence has been unbelievable. Shockingly, RJ, been tremendous, been very vocal, and I'm extremely pleased to see that. Coleman has been, and I say this in a great way. Coleman's been a great voice, and with less emotion. And so that's becoming evident. You know, we're starting to see Matt step into those things, and they all know we can be really good. We've proven that, and it's a connectivity piece that we've got to have, and they're all doing that. So we're back. I feel good about where our leadership is in terms of the effort and all of that. Now we've got to learn to keep doing that with execution.